And today, it's a pretty simple little concept here. The basic gist that you have to understand when you subtract fractions from 1 is that if you have the number 1, you can write a gazillion, an infinite amount of fractions that are equal to the number 1. For example, it's just like if you take a pizza. You take a pizza, one whole pizza, you don't have to cut it in any pieces at all, and you have a fraction of 1 over 1. You've taken one pizza, it's one piece. But if you cut it in half, okay, if you cut a pizza in half and you have one whole pizza, that would be 2 halves. Okay, or if you take a pizza and by some strange chance, I've never seen it, but you could cut it into 3 pieces, the old piece symbol. If you ate the whole pizza, you'd have to eat 3 out of the 3 pieces. Same thing, yada, 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 would go forever. 15 pieces, 15 over 15. So you can make any fraction from 1 as long as it's the same number over itself. Okay? Anytime you have the same number over itself, okay, that equals 1. Now, why is that important? Well, because today we're talking about subtracting stuff from 1. So if you have something like this, change the color. What color is good?
Yeah, green.
Lovely shade of. Okay, if I have 1 minus 3/5. Okay, first thing is what? Let's see how good of math students we're turning into. If I see that problem on my book there, Brooke, I'm going to do. Oh, Sammy? Well, in this case, no. I would let you do what? Because I'm going to tell you to do what. Do what? Yeah, I think that's up and down was what I was going for, because earth was a tough word. So this is what I would do. It's 1, because we do all subtraction problems like this, minus 3/5. And I put the 3/5 off to the right because whole numbers go to the left of fractions, and I don't have a whole number with 3/5. Okay. Now, you can't just, and sorry, I'm going to switch here, 1 minus 3/5. Okay, you can't just take 3/5 away from nothing over here. Okay, 0 over 0, but you can't take 0, 0. You need to, in order to subtract fractions, they have to have the same bottom number. Okay, so I just need to do this. I need to change 1 so that it is a fraction that has a 5 on the bottom, so it's like that 5 on the bottom, and we just talked about it. I'll cross off my 1 because it's not there anymore. What number would go on top of the 5? 1 is how many fifths? If you take a pizza, cut it into 5 pieces, and you eat the whole thing, you've eaten how many pieces?
5.
Thank you very much. So 1 equals 5 over 5, and now you can do the subtraction, because if you have a pizza cut into 5 pieces, and you take 3 of them away, you only have 2 of the 5 pieces left. It's 2/5. And again, I know some of you are saying, well, I could easily do that in my head. Well, congratulations, but you won't, because. Right. Same thing if you have 1 minus 7/8. And again, I took a long time to do that. It's really easy to do. You don't have to write this on your paper. You can just write it as 1 minus 7/8. 1 is the same as, what would I change 1 into so that I could do this, Maggie?
8/8.
Right, I would just make this 8/8, and then if I take 7/8 away from 8/8, I'm left with 1/8. Please don't subtract the bottom numbers, because you don't do that with fractions. Okay, you're taking, when you look at your fraction pieces, if you have 7/8 pieces and you take 5/8 pieces away, you still have 8 pieces left. You don't change that. Another thing, let's see, sometimes they'll do this to you just to make you think too. 3 3/3, if I'm comparing that to the number 4, what do you suppose that's going to be? Greater than or less than? Wakala, greater than or less than? What's that? Well, let's look at this. What is 3 over 3 the same as? So if I have 1 plus 3, it's 4. Yeah, I was just trying to see if I could get you. Notice I didn't give you equal as a choice, did I? I just tried. How many people do that? So you gotta be careful because the book will try to treat you like that too. Or they might tell you this. They'll say something like this. Write a fraction equal to 1 that has a denominator of 7. And again, if you're really trying to please the math teacher, the guy with the really nice sweater on today, you would do this. 1, write a fraction equal to 1 that has 7 as the denominator. Well, what would go on top of that? Right.
7.
Right. So, and then you could just circle this. I know it's a hard circle, but you seem to be catching on quite quickly here. Let's see if they give us anything harder than that. Nope. I think that's pretty much simple. I know this was way